Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life, and I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. This show is for you and about you and your community. Now, Mental Health Awareness Week is May 3rd to May 9th, so we decided to bring in some mental health awareness right into the show, and we'll be meeting with Laurel Honeyford of Laurel Honeyford Counseling. She's going to be talking about how marriages have been doing during this pandemic, give us as individuals and as couples some wonderful tips. We'll also be meeting with Helen, Daymond of Access Psychology in Port Perry, and she's going to be talking about how kids and teens have been doing during this pandemic and some strategies. What can we do as parents to be able to best support them? I will also be talking about emotional intelligence. This is something that's very close to my heart. I love teaching about emotional intelligence. And the theme of mental health awareness is, let me get this right. It is name it. Don't numb it. So we're going to be talking about the importance of naming your emotions and different thought processes that you can use and strategies that can help you when emotions go for a dip, because they are going to go for a dip sometimes, right? We go like this. So we're going to learn so much on this wonderful show. I'm a little bit biased about that, but yeah, we're going to learn a ton. So all that and more right here on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
On this brand new edition of Social Life, how to avoid falling for social media scams.
Plus, find out what some of the pop divas are up to, including Demi, Britney, and Rihanna.
So welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. With me on the show now is Laurel Honeyford of Laurel Honeyford Counseling. How are you, Laurel?
I'm good. I was enjoying the thunderstorm earlier.
Oh, yeah. Now, when this is airing, maybe there will be a thunderstorm. But just so you know, we have nice, beautiful thunderstorm energy that is within this episode.
Exactly.
Love it. Now, you are a psychotherapist and you also have a mental health certification working with adults. And have you noticed throughout the past year an increase in mental health issues?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And whether there's been an increase in mental health issues or an increase in people reaching out and recognizing that they need support, I've definitely seen an influx.
Okay, that's very interesting because I feel like COVID has given us an opportunity to really look within. Yeah. So people can simply just be really noticing, okay, this isn't working for me right now. And maybe COVID helped to amplify those feelings to get fire under their butts that I have to do something about it.
Yeah, exactly. Or just the lack of busyness. We're so skilled at keeping ourselves very, very busy. And so then there's no time to really think about what's going on and how you're feeling and how you're really doing. With COVID, we've kind of been forced to slow down and take the time to think about what's really going on with us.
Right. And so I do see, not everyone agrees with this, but I do see that there are blessings that have been coming out of COVID. Mm-hmm. We can actually make some positive changes within our lives. Yeah. So have you noticed an increase in marital issues? Because I've heard that in the news. I don't necessarily know specific friends or family that have been going through that themselves, but what have you been seeing?
Yeah, I've definitely seen an influx of people coming with marriage challenges that they weren't experiencing before, that they definitely attribute to being stuck together full time with no other distractions. Yeah, there's been quite a few, people reaching out, trying to figure out how to navigate this new time, and whether that's specifically in the marriage or with kids home, and just the added isolation. There's definitely been an increase in that. I'm seeing that in the business, like they're reporting on the news.
Right. Now, okay, other than being stuck together within your family unit, what would you say would be the root causes of these family disruptions or these marital disruptions?
Yeah. I mean, it's probably hard to say across the board, but I think an increase in stress in individuals fully impacts the way that we engage and interact in our relationships. Mm-hmm. And so when we're feeling more stressed, we're less patient, might get a bit more snappy, and our survival instincts kick in, where we want to do the things that we need to take care of ourselves, which doesn't always work in a relationship and family dynamic.
Right. Now, what I've also noticed too is that with COVID, because we've had more time to look in, I feel like a lot of us have been going through some internal changes and knowing more of what we want and what we don't want. So I feel like if there's going to be disruptions within marriages, sometimes all of a sudden there's a bit of a disconnect, because I'm needing this and I'm not going to put up with anything else, but maybe there's also a lack of communication. So Have you been seeing that?
Yeah, definitely lack of communication. I hear across the board. I mean, before COVID, it was something that came up a lot, and definitely comes up now. We're not taught well how to communicate. And if it wasn't modeled for us in healthy, parent relationships growing up, where else do you learn it? It's through trial and error. It's through, making mistakes in past relationships, and it's learning, day to day in the moment.
So if you could give one tip to help marriages stay strong or get stronger within what we're going through, what would you say?
I think a big part of it comes back to first recognizing what are your individual needs that aren't being met. It's coming back to recognizing what's happening inside you, because if you don't know what's going on in you, you can't communicate that to your partner. And so first step is doing that inner work, recognizing what you need, and then being able to, in a really productive way, so not in the heat of a fight, not in, 11 o'clock at night, you're both tired, but setting aside specific time to have conversations about what's going on. Is the way that things are currently structured in your relationship still working, or do you need to renegotiate some of that? And it's not a blame, it's not a challenge, it's just simply having the conversation together. Is what we're doing working, or do we need to make some changes together?
Okay. So it's getting clear about what you need, and then setting aside time to be able to talk about that. And sometimes it might be several different conversations, because it takes practice to be able to get clearer and clearer about what you need. And sometimes you gain clarity as you talk about it.
Absolutely. Right? Yep, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Laurel. So people can contact you, couples or individuals can contact you for assistance. We can throw your website up there. And thank you so much for coming on and providing this wonderful information for us today.
I'm happy to.
Thank you. Much more on Uxbridge Scugog Life. We'll be right back.
We fought our way through Italy and then headed for Amsterdam, sweeping for Germans along the way. Our worst fear was to catch a bullet in these last hours of the war.
I was 15 when the Nazis invaded the Netherlands. more than 100,000 Dutch Jews never came home. Our men were put into forced labor. By 1945, we were starving. The food drops gave us hope. And then the Canadians came.
Before Amsterdam, I couldn't have explained why we were there, all those years away from home, but the Dutch showed us why it mattered.
Papa wanted me to bring some soldiers home to thank them personally, and that's when I first saw Wilf, and I invited him over that afternoon.
Marguerite Blaise married Lieutenant Wilf Gildersleeve. They moved to Vancouver, where they raised 8 children. Today, the Dutch still remember the Canadians who liberated them.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So we're talking about mental health. It is Mental Health Awareness Week. It's May 3rd to May 9th. And the theme is Name It, Don't Numb It. And so I think that is a fabulous theme, because when you can name an emotion, it actually takes away the power of the, how do I put this? The power of the impact within your brain, okay? So we have 2 amygdala, and they're in either side of our emotional center. And when you have an intense emotion, so let's say you just experienced something, you have a huge button and someone just pushed it. So your amygdala can get hijacked. And when that happens, you lose brain power. You literally lose IQ points within the moment. And so there's different strategies that you can use to be able to get your brain, your, I'm losing my words, but it's the prefrontal cortex, to get that back online. So one simple thing you can do is name your emotion, and that takes the power away. It helps to get your brain back on track, because when you're hijacked, you are not seeing the situation or the person with clarity. Now, emotions, all emotions are really important. Emotions are your body's, basically, it's your internal thermostat of how you're doing. So when you have those more heavy, denser emotions, that's your body, that's your higher self saying, hey, something's not working here. When you're having those emotions such as joy, love, peace, gratitude, then yeah, you're getting confirmation, this is awesome. I want more of this in my life. And when you take the time to acknowledge your emotions, it helps you to be in, let's say, gratitude for when you're feeling great, or when you're not feeling so great, when you acknowledge what you're feeling. First of all, when you name it, you have an opportunity to try to switch yourself out of that and start to see things with more clarity. But it also gives you an opportunity to see, what am I experiencing right now? Why is this not working for me? How am I getting in my own way? What do I really want to happen right now? And then you have an opportunity to make some changes. Sometimes you need to set some boundaries. Sometimes you need to take action in a different way, because maybe what you've been doing hasn't been working for you. Maybe you need to communicate to someone that's important to you to actually create some changes. Maybe you simply need to be true to yourself as to what's working and what is not working for you. So overall, emotions are really important. And if we can take the time every day to do some emotional checks, this takes some work, it takes some practice. It can help you to increase your emotional intelligence. So even if you set a timer in your phone as a reminder, maybe it's 3 times a day. If that's too much for you, then maybe once a day. But if you, let's say, were to set a timer as that emotional check, how am I feeling right now? And sometimes you might find you have taken on someone else's emotions because of who you've been surrounded by, and that's not even your stuff. So when you realize, you acknowledge what you're feeling, and if you acknowledge it's not your stuff, you have an opportunity to let that go. Just by having the acknowledgement helps you to let go what is not truly yours. So have those emotional checks. What you can do at the beginning of the day is set an intention at the start of your day. What do you want your day to be like? How do you want to feel? What do you want to accomplish? So start your day off with the right foot. Now, sometimes when you get that dark cloud over your head, you need to have some self-care, right? You need to take some time to yourself, have a little time out. If you have an opportunity to take a nap, that helps you to be able to reset. reset, recharge. And when you get up from that nap, you can start with setting that intention again for the rest of that day on how you want that to be. So those are some great things that you can do. I took some notes here just to make sure I'm gonna get through everything. Okay, so things that you can do when you get into a negative space. And I'm just saying negative because it's heavier, it's denser. So when you're having those denser emotions, what you can do, you can distract yourself. You know, for kids, you're gonna redirect them. Sometimes you need to redirect yourself, because when you're seeing something from a negative lens, it's hard to get out of that space. So if you can do something creative, listen to some fun music, go on a nature walk, draw, color, paint, wood turn, bake, garden. Choose something where you can get into the flow and to redirect your brain. You want to redirect your space. And when you can get to that creative mindset, you are opening up that second chakra, which is the place of your creativity, where ideas and inspiration come. Helps you to think more clearly, more outside the box, helps you to see situations in a different way. And so after redirecting yourself, you can go back to the situation and the person and see how you are, what is your lens like now? And then you can determine at that point whether you need to go back to that creative space because you're not quite ready, or if now you have a fresh perspective. So maybe have a little bit of a toolbox going on as to what are different things that you can do to get that creative brain going. So we have much more coming up on Uxbridge Scugog Life. We'll be right back.
I joined because I wanted to help others.
To be a part of something bigger.
To show my kids what's important.
I joined to make my community stronger.
To make a difference in someone's life.
To acknowledge that our freedoms come at a cost.
I joined to honor my mom.
My grandpa.
My neighbor.
Everyone who served.
Who are serving still.
I joined.
I joined.
I joined the Legion.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Van Bilsen for Photos and Travel, where we bring the world to your doorstep. Traveling during this pandemic is virtually at a standstill. However, thanks to Rogers and YouTube, my new show, Photos and Travel, is heading into its second season. Join me for a new episode every month when we get together and explore exotic locales around the world. Check local listings for dates and times, or search Jonathan Van Bilsen's Photos and Travel on YouTube.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. Now with me on the show is Helen Daymond of Access Psychology. Now, Helen, it's so great to have you on the show. You are a psychologist. You're also the founder of Access Psychology. And with this being Mental Health Awareness Week, and with everything we've been experiencing with COVID, I think it's fantastic and so relevant to have you on the show today.
Oh, thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, so thank you. So Helen, have you noticed an increase in mental health issues since the start of COVID?
Yes, I definitely have, Jackie. Our practice is really, really busy. Over the past year, we've really noticed an increase in our clients across the board, all age groups, from very young children right up through our teens and into the young adult age group, for sure.
Okay, and that's where you focus on, your practice focuses on adolescents and teens. So
and small children, yeah, all the way from 3 actually. Yeah, we've got quite the range. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you say COVID has been affecting the mental health of that age span?
You know what? It's really affecting the areas of anxiety, sadness, depression, and school learning, which includes attention and focus. It's had a real effect, developmental effect on children. like I said, across the board with all those age ranges.
Wow. Now, as a parent myself, I would want to know if my children are having any mental health issues. What are some signs and symptoms as a parent we should be looking out for?
You know what? It's, the kind of alienating themselves, especially for the older teens, spending more time in their rooms than teenagers typically would. Lack of appetite, a real lack of motivation, not really connecting with friends. Of course, the only way that they can these days, especially in a lockdown, would be, through FaceTime and so on, but really retreating and appearing to be very sad. And for young kids, becoming more irritable as well. So those are some of the signs, yeah.
What can parents do to best support their children?
One of the main things, well, first of all, it's really important that parents are attending to their own mental health. So parents really, this is a difficult situation for all of us, children and adults alike. The pandemic is a struggle, and there's a lot of normal depressed feelings and anxiety that adults are going to have about this as well. So it's really important that parents attend to their own mental health, that they're aware of how it's impacting them, and that they're, having their own healthy coping strategies that they're implementing and modeling for their children and teens. And then really being able to, listen to what their children are telling them about how they feel, and normalizing those feelings for them as well, and validating them, empathizing with how they feel and how tough this really is, right? And then it's being able to help them, though, with the coping part. Parents can support, creating structure for children in their day-to-day life, and helping them to formulate goals, even little goals that they can work towards, right? To find meaning in their everyday lives.
So you have a neat tool that you use with some of your clients. Would you mind talking about the boredom box?
Yeah, the boredom box is, with kids in the past being so busy with extracurricular activities, we could even say that, some of them might have been a little over-programmed. So they've gone from an extreme of go, go, go. Everything is structured from the school day to throughout the evening with, driving around here, there, to the extreme opposite of lack of structure and really not much to do outside of school. So kids get bored very easily. They don't know what to do with free time. So a boredom box is an idea that we incorporate here for children of all ages. For our adolescents, we'll modify that to, maybe you've got a boredom list on your phone you're going to have, right? Make a note of all of the just little things that you can do, and brainstorming, challenging yourself to come up with ideas of things to do to become unbored. So it can be learning something new, right? With the nice weather coming, it can be getting out and getting, on your bike, getting some inline skates and skateboarding, scootering, taking up a new hobby, a new interest, learning something new. All kinds of little things that they can do to create happiness and joy for themselves. And these days that really does need to be created. So helping them to brainstorm those ideas, they can put them on little pieces of paper in a box. And then when they're feeling bored, they can reach in the box and pull out an idea of something that they can do.
Helen, I love it. Thank you so much. So your practice is located in Port Perry, and people can contact you, accesspsychology.ca, yes?
Right, yeah, that's correct, yep.
Oh, that's wonderful. So thank you. The boredom box idea is fabulous, and parents, making sure that you are taking care of yourselves. Helen, thank you so much. We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Sometimes, for a wish to come true, it takes a kingdom, because together is stronger. Tied tight, united we stand, in honor of one child's wish, to fuel the fire that will grant many more. Join the kingdom.
Hi, I'm Jackie Hermans, the host of Uxbridge Scugog Life. Join us weekdays 9 a.m. to find out everything that's going on in and around your community. That is Uxbridge Scugog Life, only on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Angel Morgan, host of Raising Energy. Join me weekly as I connect to spirits, animals, and so much more. That's right, Raising Energy, right here only on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So you know what? That is a wrap. So with it being Mental Health Awareness Week, be super conscious of where your thoughts are. Be conscious of where your emotions are. Name your emotions. Give yourself the self-care that you need. And let's take some advice from those experts out there. Let's create our own little boredom or play box. So when we need to redirect ourselves, we can go to those tools. And what are those self-care things that help you to get yourself back on track, help you to feel loved, help you to feel cared for and nurtured? Go take that bubble bath. Go do your nails. Go, and if you don't like doing either of those things, maybe you're going to take a shower. Maybe you're going to take a walk in nature. Maybe you're going to call up a friend. Maybe you're going to meditate or do some yoga, or simply go to bed early and get what you need. You can visit mentalhealthweek.ca. So that is, so it's the Canadian Mental Health Association, and they have some different tools, wonderful articles on there that you can check out. And take care of you. Communicate too. Communicate, not only tell yourself what you need, be truthful to yourself, but communicate your needs to your loved ones. You are worthy, you're deserving, they need to listen to you. And if you don't say what you need, how are they going to fulfill those needs? You watch different miracles that can happen by simply taking care of you and speaking your needs. If you want to be on the show, make sure you send me an email. If you have an event, a program, a skill, something you want to share with the community of Uxbridge and Scugog, let me know. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Uxbridge Scugog Life, Jackie Hermans, signing off.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
You must be the reporter. Come with me.
So, Miss McGill, how does it feel being Canada's famous women engineer?
The real story is the work we've done retooling this factory.
To build the Hawker Hurricane?
Indeed. 40 planes last month with a capacity of up to 100. Our fighters are over England as we speak. Of course, it pains me to see airplanes mass-produced like boxcars or baby carriages. But in war, we make concessions in favor of innovation.
You must feel at home, though, managing all of these women.
I'm not here to manage women.
Well, you must admit it is an unusual job.
I'm the